What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Josh's Comics. And today, I'm not only doing a haul, but part of this haul has to do with local comic book shops and are they still worth going to and buying from in 2025? I think based off of what I picked up, I know my answer, but this will be a good little video for some new people who are joining into the hobby and collecting, or I think also for some older veterans of the hobby as well. So I have a few local comic book shops in my area. Um, I tend to usually only go to two. I haven't been to the one in a long time, but I have been frequently going to Captain Blue Hen Comics here in Delaware. It's only about a 5-minute drive from me, and they've been doing some sales here and there. Half of this haul, I won't lie to you, I actually picked up the last week of December. They did a Christmas like 20% off haul. And then I just went a few weeks ago and they had another like President's Day, well, before President's Day, but like another like percentage off haul. So I went in, found some great books. Not only do they have $2 bins, but the deal was it was before the Super Bowl, if I remember correctly. So everything in the $2 bins was like I think 60 cents or something like that due to the Eagles winning before the Super Bowl, winning the playoff game to get in or something like that. So this is it was a nice little haul. So we're gonna talk about, do I think local comic book shops are still worth going to in 2025 to buy books? We'll find out at the end of the haul. So the first book I picked up from my local comic book shop, and it's a book that I've been wanting to pick up for a while, and I saw this on Key Collector, and it's not considered a key, and there's no value on it, but I think this could be something. So this is Superman, the Man of Steel, issue number 37 from the Zero Hour, and take a look at this cover. This is a fantastic cover where Superman is surrounded by Batman. But I want you to take notice, like, look at all the Batmans on here. You have technically it's like Adam West's Batman. You have the animated series. You have the Dark Knight Returns. You have a 2.0 of Detective Comics 27 in there. So technically, this is kind of like you get to see different versions of the Batman from all different runs up into this era and this time of comics. And I just think it's a really great cover, and I think it's something that's worth mentioning. And keep an eye out for it. Like I said, I really caught my eye with all the different Batmans on there. Um, I mean, you have just a whole different line of them there. So I thought that was a fun issue to pick up. The next book I'm kind of leaning towards variants now. And I said I wasn't gonna do variants when I first got into collecting, and I did that for the first year or so. But now if there's a really good variant of a character, and usually my ladies of Marvel and DC I go for. And I thought this is a great cover. Um Action Comics 1061. I'm not sure if it's a variant or not. It might just be a great no variant cover by um by George not George by Herb Gemnis. I probably mispronounced his name wrong, but he is actually just been announced to be the artist on the new Batman run coming out. And Matt Friction will be writing as well, and it'll be retitled Batman One. But yeah, grab this cover. New Superman's coming out with Lois. Figured why not? These next couple of books really hit home to my childhood. And what happens is at my local comic book shop, books that are already bagged and board, every book has a price sticker on there, but there's sometimes books that are just bagged and not board. Now, excuse me, whew, those books can be considered may not be worthy of a board. They ran out of them, or it could be mismeaning that they're a little bit damaged. Or you could sometimes get a good near mint book for cheap. And these couple books I found were bagged, not boarded. This is a really great cover. It is not a key, but it is Batman and Robin Adventures issue number 4, featuring the Penguin. I absolutely love that thing, man. That's just a great, great cover. The other one they had was Batman and Robin Adventures issue number 3, and this is actually a great Christmas cover. Love that thing. I think it's a beauty, especially with the Riddler on there too. So yeah, that was pretty cool. And then I do have a bigger book that I picked up in the winter haul. I'm saving that for last. It is the biggest book of the haul we'll talk about. So these next couple books are the ones that I actually picked up during the Eagles playoff, um, after they won going to the Super Bowl. And I kind of picked this up just because I know it's an Adam Hughes cover, and I thought it looks like a great cover. It's issue number 3 of Batgirl from the New 52 run. Speaking of Batgirl, I got my statue up there. It kind of looks similar to the suit that she has on here on the costume. Go check out that video if you haven't, by the way. My first ever comic statue. So yeah, I was happy to pick this up. I think this was like $2 or something. Again, it's kind of like a $2, $3 book, but still a great Adam Hughes cover, I think. And the new 52 run was great because up until this point, Barbara was paralyzed. She was still being Oracle, and then the new 52 rebooted. And if I'm not mistaken, I think the story goes like she received like a chip or some kind of a device that made her able to walk again. And Gail Simone does a great job writing this. So I enjoy the run. I actually have the run behind me on the wall, in omnibus format. So yeah. This next book, these next two books are the same. The first one is just a regular edition, and then the second one is the uh would be considered a variant, but it was early '90s, so it's not. I guess you could say like probably newsstand and deluxe. But this is Man of Steel or Superman Man of Steel issue number 22, um, die out cut cover. Now this is very good because I was thinking about this, and if you take this out. And here you have Man of Steel, um, John Henry right here. Okay, so technically this is his first cover appearance, right? But not, if that makes sense. Because technically on the cover here, we just have a cutout of the steel suit. But obviously, you open it up, you have John Henry here. Well, then if you do issue number 22, I would like to call it the variant, you have him in the suit, front and center. So I consider this his first cover appearance. And I believe it was Superman issue number 500, if I'm not mistaken, The Return, which is considered it's his first appearance, but he doesn't suit up until this issue. Um, I think that, Steel will be a player in the DCU. At least I hope so. I think Superman and Lois, which is a great show, did a great job with the character. And I really would love to see, Steel continue over into the DCU. So yeah, I'm kind of picking up some keys gearing towards Steel, and in the comics, it's his niece, um, not Natasha. Ah, is it Natasha? It's his niece, but in the show and Superman and Lois, they made it his daughter and stuff, and did some things. So we'll see what goes with that. The next book I picked up, this was in the $2 bins, but it was only 60 cents. Um, this is a book that the original book I'm specting on is All New, All Different Avengers #1. However, Free Comic Book Day, All New, All Different Avengers #1 is the first team, like the first ever time this team teams up. I think based off the current direction the MCU is going, and we know after Secret Wars, there's gonna be a bit of a reboot. We're hearing rumors of a soft or hard reboot. I think going forward, this might be the team that we might end up seeing in the next what 3 to 5 years, depending on how the movies play out. So we'll have to see. I have a bunch of issues. Number one, and then this is technically the one you want, but issue number one is a great Alex Ross cover. Actually, Alex Ross, I think, does most of the covers for that run. So another book I found, and this is only $5. Wasn't boarded, only bagged. But this is a great Darth Vader key. And I always say Darth Vader has some of the most badass covers, and this is volume two from the Charles Soule run. Another great run. I highly recommend you guys check this out if you love Star Wars. Issue number 16, and it is the first cover appearance, I believe, I want to say that's the ninth or 10th sister. And then I think the sixth or seventh sister of the Inquisitors. There's a bunch of different ones of them. So this book's got actually some decent value in it. So picking it up for $5, I said, yeah, why not? And then this book, it was bad and boarded, and it was priced already at kinda not high, but at a decent price, I thought, for what it was. And, great cover, man. This thing is bad, like, badass. And a lot of the Charles Soule covers are great. I mean, honestly, all the covers are great in the Gillen run, volume 1, the Soul run in volume 2, and then, Parks run in volume 3. But check this out, issue number 8 of Darth Vader. That thing is just like a beauty. Love it. There's also a bit of a significance behind this, and I'm honestly should have wrote it down, and I completely forget. So if somebody wants to shout out in the comments what it is. Um, I believe it is a first appearance, possibly. So yeah. Um, Great book there, great cover. Like I said, I love the Vader covers. Second to last book I picked up. I also picked up during the Eagles playoff win, and this is just a book that I caught my eye. They have some of the original Harley Quinn Volume 1 run, and here's issue number 25. I love that. I love the Joker, Batman, Harley on there. I am not exactly sure. It's not a Terry Johnson cover. He did most of the run, but it's a great cover, and whoever the artist was did a great job. Some of the Harley Quinn, I'm gonna be honest, some of the Harley Quinn original run does have some great keys in there, some significance behind them, and some are known just for being great covers, and they have fantastic covers. So always be on the lookout for Harley Quinn's Volume One run, and pick them up when you can. And then the last book that brings me to making this whole video was about whether comic books, or rather local comic book shops, are worth going to in 2025, buying from, checking out. And I think this book kind of answers for itself. I got this book for $20, and I thought it was a steal, and I do think this book is near mint. And I'm thinking possibly, if it was to get graded, which I may do depending on where the Vision Quest show goes, I think it's definitely a 9.6 candidate. I think I could definitely get a 9.8 possibly there too, and that's Division number one. This is the first V Vision, who is the daughter, and I think it's also Vin Vision, who is the son. Um, we know Vision Quest is coming, and Vision Quest is going to take some inspiration from the show. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. I believe they did cast an actor, a young actor. They were calling his character named Tucker. Some are considering him to be maybe Tommy. Some are saying that he might be Vin Vision. We'll have to see. And I think V Vision as well will be casted. And I think it'll be interesting to see this play out in live action. And I love Vision. And Tom King actually wrote this, and it is a great, great run. And yeah, so I only got this for $20. I thought that was a great deal, honestly. And we'll have to see what the future holds for this book. But yeah, potentially Ascendant. We'll have to see. Um, whew, oh no, drop that. So anyway, yeah, I want to say that I still feel like in 2025, and since I've been collecting in 2022, I think I started collecting. I've only been at it for about 3 years now. I still think comic book shops are worth the drive. Now, depending on what shop, obviously, we know of stories from other YouTubers about comic shops that overpriced, or they wait till you get up to the front and you bring the books and they're like, hey, we got to check eBay or pricing, and then we'll match, we will price the book as we think it should be. I would stay away from those kind of shops. In my opinion, the local comic shops that I have near me are great. I love them all. Comic Mania, Wilmington Comic Shop, Captain Blue Hen Comics, all great shops, at least in my area. And I do know some fellow collectors who have to drive, unfortunately, half hour, 45 minutes, sometimes more, just to get to a local shop. And sometimes those shops could be a real dud. Like I said, they could be priced at the counter, and they could be overpriced. They could have, uh, you know, a lot of different issues. But as going back to that question, I still think in 2025 that comic book shops, local comic book shops, are still worth going to. Check them out, especially if you go traveling. If you have a job that takes you to different states, or if you go on vacation, check out local comic book shops. Last year, 2 years ago, I went down to North Carolina, um, sorry, South Carolina, to the beaches, and I checked out a bunch of shops in the area. And guess what? I had a good haul. I found some good stuff at good prices. Some shops that I wish would be up closer to me, but then I see some guys that are upstate in Connecticut. Broke Boy Comics is one YouTuber you should check out, definitely. But he always goes, once a month. I think they do like a warehouse sale at one of their shops. He goes sometimes, and he finds like some great stuff for great prices that I wish I could do. Um, but yeah, I truly think local comic book shops is still worth it in 2025. See what you have in the area, check out the reviews. If not, ask other fellow collectors in your area about them, and you know, go after it. So, guys, that is it. Nice little haul to get us back in. I've been quiet. I've been MIA kind of for the last week and a half. I'm dealing with some stuff at the moment, but hopefully it all works out. We'll see. But yeah, I'm planning on jumping back on the, next week, making a few other things and getting back into it again. Just life sometimes can really take you out of doing this, especially in the collecting. Uh, but do me a favor. If you like this content and if you watch all the way up to this point, and I should have said this in the beginning, please hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and get notified when you hit the bell notification button, as well as future videos, and subscribe. It really helps out the channel. And I want to keep growing this, keep making this as big as possible. And leave me a comment. Let me know what do you still think about local comic book shops? Do you still go there and shop? What are your recommendations for going for other collectors? A little bit of advice if you want. And also let me know what you thought about the haul. Um, if I remember correctly, I want to say that both hauls all in, I probably paid like maybe 60 to 70 bucks. I want to say, if I'm not mistaken. I thought it was a pretty good, well, maybe a little bit less than 60. But still, I thought it was a great haul. And, you know, so until next time, guys, stay safe, take care of each other, and as always, we will see you on the next episode of Josh's Comics.